Hey folks, BrickSidious here, back with another LEGO commentary video. You've probably heard the buzz about this Bricks and Minifigs scandal where the corporate office and one of the franchise owners in Salem, Oregon is refusing to return a huge set of NIB LEGO Star Wars sets from a big collector there. The story's made the rounds, even the mainstream media, and DuckBricks, the winner of the Lego Masters show recently, he had a 1 hour deep dive on it. Actually, I thought he explained things and added his personal take as a small business owner and a passionate Lego fan. I thought it was a very good video if you want to see it. But it got me thinking just to add a little bit to the issue here. I'm not going to repeat all the facts and the allegations and everything that others have done better. And of course, to make it perfectly clear, I 100% side with the collection owner. I think the Bricks and Minifigs, I've never been a customer of them, and I don't know much how the business is run. The Lego communities on Facebook, some people say their local store is great, some people say not so great. But, the actions that corporate has taken since the scandal broke, like being very defensive, holding on to the collection when they have no right to, hiring PR and damage control, turning off comments on their Facebook page, they're not acting like a nice brand that works with kids, works with collectors, respects customers. So that's a big red flag. Excuse me. And then also the new owners of this franchise, who currently, I guess, are in possession of this $100,000 Lego Star Wars collection, they also do not seem to be behaving very well. They've said some incriminating statements that RecklessBen, this YouTuber kind of citizen journalist, or kind of like a shock journalist. He's captured them saying, and it seems like these franchise owners who live in Utah have also used their connections with local law enforcement to intimidate or potentially even violate the rights of RecklessBen and his team. So it's all really horrible. And like DuckBricks said, this has really shaken his trust in the U.S. justice system and who has power and how things are how our fates are decided in this country, all over something as seemingly trivial as Lego. I'm playing for you visuals now of these like classic Lego commercials from when I was a child, and maybe when a lot of you were, just to kind of remember back when things were more innocent and you would never even dream of a scandal like this. And let's remember, at the end of the day, these Lego are plastic toys primarily meant for children's enjoyment and learning and creativity. And of course, recently, since the pandemic, Lego's leaned more into adults welcome, icons, etc., in my opinion, to the detriment of the whole hobby, because, as we all know, adults ruin everything. Let me elaborate. So unfortunately, now in this kind of, I think this is a uniquely American problem. I think the prices for Lego seem to be a little lower in Europe and Asia, and I don't think you have these crazy stories of like people stealing the contents of Lego boxes, replacing with pasta, and then trying to sell them. You don't have robberies of Lego stores. This seems to be an American problem, and it may be tied into like, I'm not trying to get political here, but kind of how the American dream is becoming less and less accessible to a lot of people who do all the right things, get good grades, stay out of trouble, work hard in their jobs, and they can barely make ends meet, much less like enjoy a Lego set here and there, which sometimes is $400. So people, maybe especially kind of in their, people under 40, have felt pressure or desperation to like try other ways to just get rich quick, poly market, all this gambling stuff, side hustles, crypto, things that often don't work out for them. And of course, one is like Lego reselling. I mean, obviously, we don't want to get as bad as these Pokemon cards, which I don't understand. But again, there's robberies, violence about them. I think there's even been murders in the U.S. And it sounds like kids are obsessed. Adults, a new shipment comes to Walmart. There's like people are camping out. Like, this is out of control. And I'm not here to judge people's lifestyles and like, you want to camp out, okay. I'm not stopping you, but like, it sets a precedent, and it maybe leads to some like unhealthy or even toxic culture and behaviors, and then it's not a hobby anymore. It becomes like an obsession or a vice or a problem, and that's really sad for something like Lego and Star Wars that has such a warm, positive place in a lot of our hearts. I don't like seeing how things are going. I started. I think I got my first Lego Star Wars set around 2010, so when I was already an adult, and it was so different than you go to Craigslist or like Facebook, and you get a used set for $50, and you don't have any intention of like flipping it, or when the new UCS set drops from Lego, it doesn't even sell out the first day, because it's kind of a niche thing that like only the hardcore builders get UCS. I don't know about all the other themes like Ninjago or Modulars or Friends. I don't think they had as much of the craziness as Lego Star Wars did. And the problem is, Lego loves this. They've made record profits year over year since the pandemic, like huge growth. They're a private company, so but I mean the company value has gone up quite a bit, and I don't know if they're motivated or even care to rein in some of this excessive fan behavior, because at the end of the day, the more buzz, the more sales, I guess it benefits them. But overall, like, again, this isn't financial advice or whatnot. Like, I went to business school. Like, collectibles historically do not outperform the stock market in terms of investment or retirement savings. You put your, like this guy's collection, now worth 100,000. Maybe he bought it retail for like 20,000 or something. So if he put that 20,000 in the S&P 500 5 or 10 years ago, he probably would have made out better with a lot less risk. And of course, if he put that money in like Nvidia and Alphabet and stuff, Netflix, he would have done even better. Of course, we all can't be Warren Buffett, and sometimes stocks go down. Sometimes Lego sets go down in value too. But imagine like the space you're having to allocate in your home to store all these. Insurance, if you need it, you could get robbed. There could be flooding or whatnot that ruins your sets. It's sure, like I have a few mint sets in my closet that I don't know what to do with, and maybe if the price goes up future, I'll resell it. But like I'm not gonna have like a 10 by 10 storage room full of sets that the only purpose is to resell and to make a profit on. Now again, I don't know the situation of the Oregon family with the $100,000 collection. I'm not judging or anything. Just if I were in their shoes, I would have spent the money differently. And that, again, I'm not blaming them at all. This is all completely Bricks and Minifigs' fault. But they might not have been in this financial desperate state, if they if that person had put that money in the stock market rather than Lego Star Wars boxes. Just a warning, like a cautionary tale, a lesson for the rest of us. Just not go overboard, right? I mean, yeah, you probably, I have other videos on this channel about like how I buy and sell Lego and try to, I try to make a little profit on the side to subsidize, how I buy new sets for my collection. But yeah, the buying and selling has gotten a lot harder since like 2023. I want to say, like eBay, forget it. You're always going to get outbid. People are literally out destroying the profit value of used sets. They're totally outbidding beyond what they're worth, especially when you consider eBay seller fees. And even like Shop Goodwill, I used to really like that site too. Like they find amazing stuff. I don't know who is donating this stuff to Goodwill, or if they buy it from like, what do you call it, storage locker auctions or whatever. They have amazing used sets, sometimes sealed, but again, the bids get run up, like maybe even from, I think it's from their own employees or friends committing fraud, like trying to make the listings more expensive on the rest of us who actually want to buy those sets. But yeah, I just try to have the discipline of like, yeah, I want that set for 200. If it goes above 200, I'm not bidding, too bad. But it's a shame, because I've seen some real gems, real beauties there, and yeah, maybe they went to a collector who just has a higher willingness to pay than I do, or they go to a reseller who's trying to make more profit on BrickLink or some other sites, or it was just bid up fraudulently. But it's a bummer, because I used to have a lot of fun on that site, and like seeing it's a great Easter egg, or you get the dopamine hit when you see like a great listing and you win it. So unfortunately that time is gone. Like I used to win a bid and get a good set from Goodwill, shopgoodwill.com, like, I don't know, once every 2 months, and now it's like twice a year maybe. So that's the way it is. Yeah. I'm mostly on like garage sales and local like Facebook marketplace. But that too, yeah, like somebody will have an undervalued Lego Star Wars set. Oh yeah, I'm offering 50, and I'd be like, yeah, I'll take it. And then they go, oh, someone's actually wanting to pay 100 for this. So I'm not going to get in a bidding war with people. And like the guy offered it for 50. I thought we had an agreement, but he found another buyer. Well, I guess more power to him. But yeah, anyway, so we're looking at this situation here, and I don't think it's going to get better on its own, right? In fact, it's probably going to get worse. Like, it's strange, you just don't see this with like other kids' toys, like Barbies and Hot Wheels and stuff. I mean, sure, there's some collectors who will pay a lot for vintage, rare stuff, but you don't have the insanity like you're getting with Lego. And yeah, it's just a downer. Like hearing the stuff about the Bricks and Minifigs in Oregon, like you feel for that family. You're disgusted by the behavior of Bricks and Minifigs, and you see like this isn't all fun and games. You know, there's some real ruthless jerks in this hobby. I mean, you've probably seen it with like comments on social media and whatnot, and they kind of ruin it for the rest of us who are passionate and just want to be positive. And we're not here to like fleece each other for prices and punch and fight each other for Black Friday, like getting in line and stuff. And again, yeah, I think it's a uniquely American problem, sadly, with our culture the way it is. So, yeah, anyway, just wrapping up here, to summarize, please do not think of Lego as an investment or retirement vehicle. There are better ones out there. If you want to buy Lego to resell a little bit here and there, okay, don't go overboard. I mean, some people have a full Bricklink store where this is their business. Okay, yeah, they're professionals. I wish them the best, but for the others, they're just like, oh yeah, I'm going to buy a set for 200 and sell it for 400 later. That doesn't really happen so much anymore, especially because Lego's so mainstream and they're mass produced. Like the UCS like Mandalorian Starfighter now, that's not going to appreciate like Cloud City, right? It's mass produced. It's going to be plenty available in 10 years, and I don't think people will want to pay Cloud City prices for it because it's not that awesome of a set. So just don't put your hopes in that. Like Legos for building, enjoying, sharing with other AFOLs and your kids, and then maybe you're done, you pass it on, and maybe you sell it for like a decent price, or you sell it. Maybe you bought it for 200, you sell it for 100. That's okay because you got $100 in value of like building it and displaying it. So it's not just about money. Enjoy the hobby for what it is. Yeah, I mean, even just thinking of my this Oregon family, like my collection, I don't know if I die suddenly, I don't know what my family's going to do with it. Maybe I should write instructions. Well, one, it's like they're not as knowledgeable as I am with all this. Even if they give it all away to an orphanage or something, like I'm good with that. If they want to sell it, I just hope they don't sell it to these scumbag resellers who will just flip it and like care nothing about the product themselves. So yeah, so it's kind of been a bad week for the hobby, for the community. I hope these Bricks and Minifigs jerks get their just desserts and justice is served, and I hope that that family gets their collection back, or at least the cash value of it. Yeah, let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll have another video soon actually talking about Lego bricks and not all this nonsense. Thanks for listening, and I will catch you next time.